New details this morning in trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been actually trying to reach out to possible witnesses and influence a potential jury pool.
This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial.
Diddy is allegedly trying to ensure the victims in his cases never get to court, and he is doing this all while he is in prison. Yep, you heard me correctly. In a shocking new development, the police have discovered that Diddy is allegedly threatening witnesses and victims in his cases so he can get released. And you won't believe the lengths he is going through to make this happen, and shockingly enough, this is not the first time he has done this. So, join me today as we look into this shocking news about Diddy not giving his victims a moment of peace.
Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims.
Now, it seems like every other day we hear some shocking news about Diddy, whether it be about new revelations coming out about the things he was up to, or new victims coming up with different allegations. I mean, the list is ever growing. Now, for years it has been rumored that the reason people never spoke up about Diddy was because they were afraid of what he would do to them. So after Diddy went to prison, it came as a great relief to some of his victims that he wouldn't be able to harm them. That's why many of them have continued to come out since he got locked up. However, it seems like even from behind bars, Diddy might still be a threat to all his victims. You see, in a recent shocking turn of events, it has been revealed that Diddy has been trying to reach out to his victims and witnesses in his cases to try and influence them in his favor. Not only that, it's alleged that Diddy has also been trying to influence his jury pool so he can get a favorable jury for his cases. Now, all of these were discovered after investigators reviewed phone calls that Diddy was making from prison. You see, Diddy is currently locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn as the police finish up their investigations against Diddy. Now, many, if not all people, believe that Diddy wouldn't be able to do much to affect his case from prison, but Diddy is proving everybody wrong. Apparently, while in prison, Diddy was aware that his phone calls would get monitored so that the police would get more incriminating evidence on him. So Diddy paid at least 8 inmates through intermediaries so that he could use their allocated phone calls to avoid getting detected. Y'all, Diddy didn't stop there. CNN also reported that Diddy used 3-way calls in order to contact various people not on his approved calling list, meaning that Diddy would call someone on his approved list, then that person would make a conference call to another person whom Diddy wanted to talk. Not only that, Diddy also used a non-authorized third-party messaging system to send hundreds of texts to a bunch of people so that the police couldn't monitor what he was communicating. Now, all this came to light in a recent hiring where Diddy was attempting for a third time to get bail. But federal prosecutors are now arguing that Diddy shouldn't be allowed bail because if he gets released, he would definitely prove a danger to anyone involved in the cases against him.
Prosecutors pointing to recorded phone calls from jail. They say Combs asked family members to reach out to potential victims and witnesses, urging them to create narratives to influence a jury pool. Allegations that could land Combs in even more trouble.
Anyways, during his numerous unauthorized calls and texts, the prosecutors say that Diddy tried to get into contact with potential witnesses in his cases and even his victims. Apparently, Diddy's end goal was to blackmail them into keeping them quiet, and if that didn't work, he would try and influence them into providing testimony that helped his cases. The prosecutors wrote to the judge saying, since the defendant, Diddy, has been detained at MDC, he has continued to try to evade law enforcement monitoring, corruptly influence witness testimony, and further attack the integrity of these proceedings. While attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool, made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case, and contacted witnesses through third parties. Now, this shocking news comes just days after a judge denied Diddy's request to silence any potential witnesses in his cases. Diddy tried to file for a gag order in order to prevent anyone who testified in his case from talking publicly about it. The judge denied Diddy's request, arguing that Diddy's concerns did not outweigh an accuser's right to free speech. He further added saying, not all alleged victims will be participants in this case, and a blanket restriction on their speech will silence individuals who may never have anything to do with the proceedings here. And in any event, less restrictive alternatives must be considered and rejected before imposing a restraint on speech.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Now, this is far from the first time that Diddy has tried to influence people involved in his cases in order to evade jail time. You see, back in 1999, when Diddy and Jennifer Lopez managed to get out scratch-free from that case, but Diddy's friend ended up taking the fall for Diddy, and he spent almost 10 years in prison because of what Diddy allegedly did. Shine recently revealed that Diddy basically went behind his back and framed him. You see, according to Shine, when he went into the club with Diddy and Lopez that night, he actually had 2 weapons on him. One was on his waist and the other was on his boot. He got into the club with them because nobody searched them while they were entering. While in the club, Diddy got into an argument with another person and Shine was caught in the middle of the whole thing. One of the guys Diddy was fighting with reached for his weapon and Shine reached for his too. However, the shots that were fired and got 3 people injured didn't come from his gun. Rather, they allegedly came from Diddy's gun that Jennifer Lopez was carrying for him. Okay, let me break it down for you. The way this whole thing went down was messy, to say the least. So, after the infamous club shooting incident, Jennifer Lopez was the first to make bail and get out. Not long after, Diddy also posted bail and left. But guess who got left behind? Shine. And here's where it gets shady. When Shine tried to call Diddy thinking they were still tight, Diddy completely ghosted him. Like, no calls, no messages, nothing. According to Shine, he's pretty sure this was all on Diddy's lawyers, who probably told him cut ties immediately to protect himself legally. But can you imagine? Shine is sitting there locked up thinking his boys got his back, and then crickets. Shine never forgot how Diddy left him out to dry, and it's one of the many moments people bring up when talking about how Diddy has treated those close to him during scandals. Alright, get this, because Shine's story kinda gets even more explosive. You see, for years, Natanya Rubin, one of the victims injured in the infamous club incident, has been saying that Diddy was the one behind it all. According to Natanya, she saw Diddy pull out a weapon and use it on her face. But back then, when she tried to tell people, no one believed her. Now, earlier this year, Diddy's former producer Lil Rod dropped another bombshell, filing a lawsuit claiming that Diddy admitted to setting Shine up to take the fall for that incident. When Shine caught wind of this, that was the final straw. It pushed him to come forward and start speaking out about how Diddy completely ruined his life. And here's the kicker. As soon as Shine began telling his side of the story, Diddy allegedly reached out to him, maybe trying to smooth things over. But Shine? Oh, he wasn't having any of it. It's like all the pieces are coming together now. Alright, now Shine didn't hold back, claiming that Diddy went as far as manipulating Shine's own lawyer to work against him during the trial. According to Shine, he started noticing early on that his lawyer was basically throwing the case, like they might have been in Diddy's pocket or something. And when the trial began, it seemed like everyone who took the stand was there to acquit Diddy. Now here's where it gets even messier. Natanya Rubin, one of the victims, has said before that Jennifer Lopez lied in court, denying that Diddy had a weapon. But it doesn't stop there. Natanya also alleged that Diddy forced Jenny to carry the weapon in the first place. But Lopez didn't mention this while in court. Natanya admitted that while she didn't approve of Lopez's actions, she could understand why Jenny might have done it, claiming it was likely to protect herself from Diddy's wrath. Now, after Shine saw what Diddy did to Cassie, he decided to distance himself completely from Diddy and condemn him. And as more people spoke out against him, it pushed Shine to also speak his truth. Now, in one audio clip from Shine's documentary, he reveals that Diddy is just a liar. Puff pretends to be sorry, he just can't find that part of himself. When he says God is great, I think he's talking about himself. The idea that he and I are best friends or brothers, and now I'm maybe changing my tune, is just not rooted in reality. I didn't betray, my friends didn't get on the stand and snitch and get everyone else in trouble. As devastating as it was, as excruciating as it was, I did that. I sacrificed my entire career and life and family to be someone with integrity, with honor, with character, with humanity. All this paints a picture of a trial where Diddy seemed to have everyone wrapped around his finger, from witnesses to legal teams, and it seems he was trying to do it again this time. Anyways, what do y'all think about this shocking and messy news to come out about Diddy? Do you think this will stop him from trying to get to the witnesses in his cases? Let me know your opinion in the comments, and don't go anywhere because massive developments in Diddy's case are about to come out and you don't want to miss a single bit of Diddy's downfall.